Good morning, everyone. This is Ryan Clemmer and the rest of the Inhabit team. Welcome to the January Contractor Call, the first one of the new year. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let's go ahead and dive right into content. Steph, can you start us off this morning?
Happy New Year, everybody. Before I jump into some specifics, I do want to address lead gen just a little bit. As we all know, the applications were really soft in Q4, and I just wanted to let everyone know that we are diving into multiple areas to really understand what's going on, why things are trending down, not up. So we are examining the performance of all of our campaigns. You know, we have been writing, for example, direct mail for a long time, and those numbers aren't performing as well as they have been. So we're really asking some hard questions about what we need to do to make that improve, make those improvements and make the campaigns perform better. We're also looking at a number of external market factors to identify any new trends that we need to be paying closer attention to. Customer behavior. We are in the middle of conducting some homeowner interviews to get a really clear handle on barriers to action. But in the meantime, we are amplifying what we know is working and leveraging those strengths so that we don't fall down on delivering customers into your hands. So to that end, Ron, if you could advance the slide, sorry. Just want to talk a little bit about the campaigns that we do have in action in January 2016. January is a big healthy home month, a lot of attention on radon, so we'll be generating press and events around that beginning next week. So I anticipate interest in radon amplifying toward the last couple of weeks of the month. We are testing more and more specific focus campaigns, customers coming in with a particular pain point. So for example, windows. We did an e-blast test in November, December, generated some leads. We're wrapping that up with some events and other attention. A lot of this is very direct one-on-one customer engagement, which is a trend that we're capitalizing on as people want more and more of that service. Interest in seismic continues to grow, and we are activating that and bringing those customers in, always with an eye toward meeting their needs to get those assessments taken care of. But frequently, as we all know, there are opportunities to do more work. So we're obviously paying attention to those seismic plus leads as well. Solar is another opportunity. We're going to shake it up. Typically, we don't start marketing solar until spring, but with the extension of the tax credits and financing at all-time low, there really isn't a better time to invest in solar. So we're going to capitalize on that and do some focused press and event outreach there. The other piece is around financing. In talking with customers directly and doing some focus groups, the notion of financing is a topic on people's minds. We're seeing that appear in the web analytics and in customer research. So we need to talk a little bit more about the ease of financing that we have, the affordability of the work, and tapping into the idea that people have more equity in their homes. So expect more dialogue around that. The other piece that we're working on, again from the research, is that people want to hear from people like them when it comes to selecting a project or or a contractor. So we're doubling down on homeowner stories to get the word out. Expect to see more multimedia and homeowner testimonials both on our website, in events, and again in the press. So that's just a snapshot of what we're starting to ramp up in January. And then the only other thing I really have to talk about is, thank you, Ryan. I'm going to turn it over to Jessie Bond, who many of you have been speaking to, and let her talk about what we can do more of to help you guys when you're talking to customers, make it worth your while to refer them to Inhabit. Jess, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, thanks, Steph. I recently received some really wonderful feedback from couple contractors about kind of as you're sharing with your customers about our services and kind of working within our program, that when they go from your website to then a lot of you have links that go directly to our application. There's kind of, it's an abrupt shift, and you know, basically got some great feedback that it'd be really nice to kind of have a landing page on our website that kind of shouts out a little bit more of our collaboration and you guys being really important partners to us. So this is kind of an example of what a landing page would look like, and ideally we would build one for each of you that you could then link to directly from your website. So this is just an example, and we're going to be kind of working on building kind of the best template, and then I'll be reaching out directly to all of you to kind of you know, make sure content is up to date, and make sure this is something that you'd want to link to.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. And also want to give a thanks to Chris from Good Energy. You know, we really value all of your feedback on how we can continue to increase our value to you. And this was one thing, is just making sure that we're more closely aligned and more highly touting the good work of our contractors. So thanks to Jess and Chris. And I will also note that as Jess is so much closer in touch with each of you, she's probably going to take over a more visible role in the monthly contractor calls. So thanks, Jess. Thanks. Ryan,
Great.
back to you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to pause for a second. Jason, Wendy, any questions?
Nope.
Okay, great. Then let's go ahead and keep moving forward. MJ, can you walk us through operations?
Yes. Happy New Year to everyone. Just quickly, we'll look at the year in review, a few reminders, and a few announcements. All right, so year in review, basically, Inhabit and its contractors completed 640 Inhabit projects in 2015. And then just for everybody's reference, it's roughly within 10% of last year, roughly flat, but better than what we're hearing from Energy Trust numbers in terms of the residential EE market. So not a whole lot more to add there. And this year we're looking to, of course, always continuously increase that. A few reminders. The incentive changes from Energy Trust went into effect on the 1st. Everybody should be aware of that. We had been socializing and communicating that there would be changes to the workbook prior to that. So if you were bidding on jobs, everybody, this shouldn't be new news to anyone, but if you have any questions or concerns, or you need projects converted that are in an old workbook or what have you, as usual, please always work with your HPAs to get that done. They're ready, willing, and able to help you with that. And then for projects that qualify for the 2015 incentives that changed, we have to have proof of purchase that the installation happened by 12/31/15. So again, please proactively identify those projects with your HPAs. You should have already been doing this and have them submitted, but if there's any stragglers, we need to know about them ASAP. So as long as there is proof that the installation happened by 12/31, I should be able to get those incentives paid. If the installation happened after, I will not be able to. So let us know if you have any questions there. We have until this date is not quite 1/22, I found out yesterday. Basically have until next week to submit documentation having to do with 2015 projects. So I can't impress enough that if you have some questions, I need to know about them immediately. Our HPAs need to know about them immediately so that we can get them processed and ensure that if we promise incentives, they get paid.
Great. I'm going to share some operations content here with you, MJ.
Mm-hmm.
This is some exciting news to kind of launch the start of a new year. So the Inhabit workbook, y'all are familiar with it. Say goodbye to the Inhabit workbook.
Yay!
This has been internally something that we have wanted to phase out for a long time, and it's taken time to get to the point where we can phase that out. So I'm excited today, since I've so closely worked on this project for a number of years, to announce some tools that will be coming online for all of you to use. So what do we have here? Inhabit will be launching a free workbook replacement tool called Threshold. So at the same time, we have also invested in Cake Systems to develop an enhanced option tool with additional features like price booking for estimating and reporting and more along with that reporting. So we've got options that are going to be coming online here quickly in the first part of this year. Both tools will be 100% compatible with each other. What does that mean? It means that they are both built on the back-end structure of HPXML functionality. So you'll be able to exchange data between the two tools, and that will make it easy for you to use either tool, whatever one meets your needs. Both tools are web applications. They're both mobile optimized. You'll be able to use them on your desktops, your laptops, tablets, and phones. So other features as we look at this, Cake's version will be free for a period of time, and then it'll be a subscription model for some of those added features. And so timelines on all of that are, still yet to be rolled out, but that gives you the basics on how that structure will work. Threshold's been in testing for about 2 months at this time, and so we've worked out a lot of the kinks on all this, and so kind of excited to roll out the product. But we're going to still roll it out in a beta testing mode. So there'll be kind of a voluntary period where you can opt into to beta test and engage early on in the process. So if that is something that you are interested in doing, please contact me as soon as possible, and we'll start talking about timeframes and getting trained on both tools at the same time, and rolling these products together so that you can see the new functionality with both. A couple last things here. The full launch right now, what we're thinking is scheduled for March at some point, where we would actually flip over and workbook would completely kind of phase out. So that's another date that you can have kind of in your mind. And we'll be setting up the in-person trainings, and we'll be doing recordings for training so that you can kind of walk yourself through trainings and any of the other staff if they can't attend the in-person trainings for the rollout of the new products. So that being said, back to you, MJ.
Billy, if there's any questions?
Yep.
Not at this time.
All right, great.
Thanks.
Let's keep moving forward. Wendy, you're up.
Okay, one quick announcement. If you want to just go to the slide. Yay, Advantis is finally live with their 50% down payment at loan signing.
Right on.
Yeah. It is up to the customer. They will offer it to every Inhabit customer that comes to them, but the customer can opt in or out. And that's basically it. They will handle it on their end. And if you are interested and you're sending customers to Advantis, you're going to want to make sure that you're connected with them so they can pay you.
Great. Jason.
Yes.
Quality review, quality systems.
All right. Got caught off guard there. So we're going to talk a little bit about quality review results from 2015, just a wrap up of our year, and the return of our techie brekkie that we're going to be kicking off here really soon. And then I want to go over a project of the month, which we're calling our project of the year, since we just wrapped up 2015. It was one of our last projects to sneak in at the end of the year. So we did 56 quality reviews in December, and those had an average pass rate of 75%. The year ended at 77% overall, so we're really close to the 80% benchmark that we wanted. That's a 3% increase from 2014. So I just thank you guys for all the work that you guys do out there. We're just, we're finding less and less issues, which is great. And that just gives you an idea that if you look on the right, there's only 4% of them are what we call major. So a lot of them are minor stuff that we're catching. And, we have checklists available if you ever want to look at all the different things that we look at. You can always come out with us. We're starting to go out to more and more quality reviews on our own without contractors, which is what we call the standard path. And so, but it still doesn't mean, it's still okay for you guys to come out with us, especially if you have a new project manager or you want to send one of your crew leads out with us to see all the things that we're working on and looking for. That's a really great way of anticipating issues. This is the graph that shows you over the year, and that red line's our benchmark. We've actually exceeded the 80% a couple times in 2015. And then overall, we hit 77%. So great work, everybody, on that.
Nice.
So we talked about this last contractor call. We're bringing back our techie brekkie, and the first one will be Thursday, February 11th, and we're going to stick with the morning format. It seems to work well for a lot of people who have busy schedules. We'll provide some breakfast goodies, and it will also be a webinar so you can attend online. We're taking on a meaty one of going over the new BPI auditing standards and just highlighting some of the differences between it and the old standard, and ASHRAE 62.2 around ventilation. So it'll be a good one to come get questions answered and look at what the latest standards are.
Can I pause you just for a second, Jason? I received an email from Neil Kelly this morning about some folks not being on the call reminder for this morning, and Jason and I are going to be setting up similar reminders for the techie brekkie.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone on your staff that isn't on the listing right now for the contractor calls, or someone that you think would benefit from the techie brekkies, could you please reach out to myself or Jess or Jason? Let us know. We'll be building that new list and making sure that everyone receives the content so that they can attend either in person or via the webinar.
And I didn't write it on here, but we're collaborating with the Home Performance Guild of Oregon on this series, and we're going to do a lot of collaborating on bringing expertise in, and the guild has a lot of membership with people with expertise, so they'll also have this information, be announcing it in their meetings and newsletters. So we'll be working with Don on that, and BPI CEUs will be available. And again, you can email me and Ryan, or give us a call if you have any input or suggested topics for the year. But we want to get good attendance at this, so we'll start getting the word out. We got just around a month to put everything together. Okay, project of the year. This is a great project that Central Air completed, and Carmi Robertson was the technician, the salesperson, and the project manager. She's one of you guys that are wearing all three hats. It's a 1948 ranch here in Portland. When she went out to do the 100 performance check, the homeowner actually contacted Central Air a little earlier on because they're having issues with their heating system, and it evolved into a home performance project. The heating system had some very serious issues, and it had, I believe, a heat exchanger problem, which is always a big fear of ours, and with CO issues. When she got there, she did a home performance check, went through and found insulation needs throughout the whole home, a lot of air sealing opportunities or bypasses, which we just call as an open area between the conditioned and unconditioned space where there's like no resistance to hot air moving through or conditioned air. And there was one you can see up in the right-hand corner. What looks like a heating grill in the ceiling was really just an open hole to the attic. There was also an old dog door that when they bought the home, the people before them had a very large dog, and they don't have a dog, and this is just a leaky hole. They had the old heating system with the CO issue. They had leaky, inadequate duct system that was really in disarray, had some DIY and multiple people working on it. It wasn't designed very well. There was asbestos material that you can see down in the right-hand corner that was pulled off of some old piping and then just shoved up into the crawl space joist, and so they had to get rid of that. So a lot of stuff going on in here. Next slide. So the homeowner pain points were the house is very uncomfortable rooms, uneven heating. It's very cold in the winter. The furnace runs a long time, constantly running or short cycling. They had very high heating bills. The son's room was very uncomfortable and needed a space heater. This is a really common thing that I'm sure you guys have all heard, is about how one room is very uncomfortable, or a son's or a kid's room. And the homeowners are very focused on that being a comfortable space, especially if your kids can't sleep and then they're coming into your room to sleep, and that's exactly what happened in this situation. So no one's getting good sleep. It's just it's just not a great place to recharge. One of the homeowners was very initially skeptical, which I know that a lot of you salespeople run into, where you have two different people that own the home or are responsible for making decisions, and one is like, yeah, I want to do this, and one is like, doesn't trust contractors, doesn't trust, spending a lot of money on their home. So a lot of stuff to set up and solve. So can we nail this one out of the park? And Carmi did. So next slide, you'll see that the homeowner decided on insulating the entire house, attic, floor, walls, did a full package. They removed that dog door, which you'll see attached up here in the lower right-hand corner. There's no need to have it, so just seal it off and put some insulation in there. They got a really large air leakage reduction when this was over. It was over 2,000 CFM50. They sealed off that hole that was that old grill. They put in a new, really good gas furnace. The homeowner decided on a higher end 98% one, which is with variable speed modulating furnace. They replaced and relocated the ductwork because it wasn't designed very well, and it included a two-zone damping system because they actually have an addition to the house, and so this will allow them to control where heat is going. This project was a really big success. And on the next slide, just highlighting again that they got a huge air leakage reduction. The homeowner was very pleased with the work. And Carmi, I talked with Carmi about this. She said that the homeowners called her 3 times since the work has been done to say how happy that they are. And the homeowner that was skeptical is now really jazzed about this project. And if I quoted Carmi correctly, is now skipping around the house in glee at how comfortable they are. Carmi worked really hard to put this all together, get all these issues addressed, and do a work scope and help the homeowner move forward. Carmi's been a home performance professional now for many years, and so has a lot of experience, and she's got a really great approach to working with homeowners and finding a project that fits for them, and she did a great job on this. And just to give ourselves a little bit of pat on the back, we also had Danny Kelly help this homeowner with some lending questions and through the lending process. Then he went out and inspected it, and he was talking about how great this project was as well. So thanks for all the work that Central Air and Carmi did on this. And I know this is just like a gleam into one project that we do, and I know you guys have lots of stories about projects similar to this that we don't even hear about, and we just really appreciate all the work that you guys have done and continue to do. And if you have a project that you want to have highlighted, go ahead and email me and just send me some details about it, and we can talk, and we'll highlight it on one of our contractor calls.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Just a quick pause at the end of the call. We're just about just under a half an hour in, so any questions that are out there, Wendy, Jason, that we should address?
No.
Great.
All quiet.
Sounds good. Well, we'll leave it at that for today, and thanks for joining us for the first contractor call of the year. Have a great Friday, everyone, and we will talk to you next month.